Hey there, girlfriend. Ingafay here. Super excited to be with you today. I'm so excited to share another coaching girlfriend with you, Ciriaca Yolanda. She is a certified health coach, and she is going to tell us all about how to redefine aging from a seasoned sister point of view. So, super excited to share her. So, we will see you on the other side. Well, how you doing, Ciriaca girlfriend? Super excited to have you here today.
I am doing fine, and I am so happy that I could be here with you today.
Yes, yes, yes. So before we get into the 411 on how we're going to redefine aging our way, I wanted you to tell the audience a little bit more about you, who you are, who you serve, and how you serve them.
Okay. Well, again, my name is Ciriaca Yolanda, and I am a certified health coach, and I work with seasoned sisters. And I've chosen that name, Seasoned Sisters, because, the women that I work with are seasoned in life. We've also been sprinkled with so many things in our lives. So we are seasoned. And we're at the stage that we really want to understand, how do we navigate this new second half, third act, whatever you want to call it, but this new stage in life. And I work with women primarily to understand that, to help them navigate the stage of life that they're in.
Right.
And I am a 70 plus year old grandmother of two grandsons. My daughter will be 50 this year. I can't really believe that, but that is the truth. And I live in California, Central California. And I've only been here 10 and a half years, originally moved here from New York. And that's a little bit about me so far.
Cool. Well, we are so excited to have you here. So we wanted to get the 411. So what does it really mean to redefine aging? I'm sure the inquiring minds definitely want to know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We live in a world that is so ageist. That's one of the isms that we don't hear a lot about, but it's still there. And we see it every single day in social media,
right,
on TV, all types of advertising. We see that younger person that is valued more. And unfortunately, many of us seasoned sisters begin to internalize that.
Mm-hmm.
So that aging then becomes something that you're afraid of. Mm-hmm. You don't want it to happen. Right. You don't know how to deal with it. So I'm all about redefining what this stage really is all about. You know what? Because in reality, it's a blessing. Mm-hmm. It's a blessing to age, because I know, as many other women, seasoned sisters, also have experienced, many of your peers are no longer here.
Right.
Many of your peers, you hear them talking about their aches and their pains and not being able to do this anymore or that anymore. And that can actually begin to affect you and how you think about aging and yourself in your life.
Right.
So redefining aging is really about turning that upside down, mm-hmm. and really, really taking in what a blessing it is and living your healthiest and best life yet.
Awesome. 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 What is the adage where they say you grow old or you die young, or something to that extent?
And, as I said, I am 70 plus years old. There's a lot of my peers are no longer here. There are a lot of my peers who I hear what I said before, complaining about aging, right. And not really looking forward to the life that is ahead of us, that could be ahead of us, and, and living it to our best possible way. And, as a health coach, I come from it from a health perspective, mm-hmm. because I find that is where a lot of women have not taking good care of themselves.
Right.
And now, they kind of want to start, and it becomes a little harder.
Yeah.
But it is possible.
Right.
So that's where I work with women in terms of redefining aging for them, which could be different, can look different from person to person.
Exactly. So I'm just curious, what is your target market? Like when you're doing this redefining aging, is it your daughter's age of 50 plus, or who do you serve?
It's interesting because I had that conversation with my daughter, and she said, "Mom, I'm going to be 50 and my friends are 50. I don't think you're talking to us." And I said, you're kind of right. So the woman that I work with is normally maybe late 50s, in her 60s, or could be, 65, or, late 60s, even 70s even.
Right.
I have a Facebook group, and I have women who basically run that gamut.
Okay.
I have one woman who's 80 years old in my group. So again, I'm talking about that seasoned sister. 50s today is not the 50s when I was a child,
Right.
so again, it's that woman, late 50s, 60s, etc.
Okay. So the burning question is, so why should women care about redefining aging?
Why you should care about that is because there's a lot of noise around you that is going to make you think that it's over.
Yeah.
That it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
That you're too old. And the reality is that you're not. Your best years could be ahead of you.
Right.
There are fewer years, but your best years could still be ahead of you. There are so many women who are older in that demographic that I mentioned, who starting businesses,
Yes.
who are retiring, but then now visiting the world that they didn't get to see before, or giving to themselves in ways that they could not give before because they were raising their families.
Right.
So, there is so much ahead of us that can be, but we've got to be healthy to go through it and deal with it. For example, I know a lot of women who love to travel, and they say, "Oh, I want to travel." But you know what? In traveling comes the necessity to be agile, to have energy, to do, because you when you're visiting different places, you may be walking more than you normally walk. You may be going up some hills that you normally do. And if you are not used to that, if you are not ready for that, then that can hamper your ability to do something that you want to do. And for me, there is nothing that you cannot do that you want to do, but you got to put the work into it.
Right. So when you work with someone, are you giving them like a nutrition plan, a workout plan? What does your program encompass?
Well, when I work with a woman, when I first meet with a woman, I ask her a lot of questions for me to determine where she is.
Right.
Because if I tell you to go do, some push-ups and some sit-ups, you may not want to do that. So I ask you, what is it that you've done in the past? What results have you gotten? What are some things that you don't want to do? What are some things that you want to do? And I work with you in things that you're going to do and that you're going to be able to get results. So, in working with you, I will focus on, again, what it is that you like to do. What do you like to eat? What do you don't like? What you do not like to eat? And how has that affected you in the past? So it's always about looking at what you're doing, the actions, the results that you get, and then asking, how's that working for you?
Right.
If it's not working for you, so what changes are you willing to make to get the results that you want? And I find that a lot of times it's that willingness that sometimes can be a problem for some women. So we work on that.
Yeah.
So fine tune, what do you really, really want?
Yeah. So I got to ask this, because I know oftentimes people want something, but they don't necessarily want the stuff that goes with it. They may want the 6-pack abs, like Jennifer Lopez, who happens to be in her mid 50s.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, I remember I was watching a movie with her on it, and one of her the people in the movie were asking her, was it something that she was their appeal that she was taking for her abs to be the way they were. But I thought that I got so tickled, and I was just like, no, Jennifer probably watches what she eats and she works out on a regular basis. But people don't want to hear that noise. They just want the fast and easy way. What can I do? The bare minimum. Let me know what the bare minimum is that's going to help me get to where I want to go. So I'm curious to see or hear how you respond to someone like that.
Well, you get what you put, you get out what you put in.
Oh, exactly.
So, if you want to do the bare minimum, then you have to understand that what you're going to get may be the bare minimum. So there may be some adjustments that you make along the way towards your goal. Like, again, let's think about that 6-pack ab. If you have not been regularly working out and eating in the way that helps your body to be strong, then the likelihood of you getting a 6-pack ab, it's, you got to be realistic. You may not get it, but you still could be happy with the person that you are. And that's where that's the ultimate goal. It's not necessarily looking a certain way, because you're comparing yourself to somebody else, and we are all very unique. So it's really about working with you, that seasoned sister, to identify, what's possible for you that you can live with and still be happy and do the things that you want to do in your life. We're not, it's not necessarily always about weight loss. It could be. It could be, but it's about you internally being happy with who you are at this stage of life, and accepting who you are and accepting this stage of life, and going on and living your best life.
Yes. And I guess, and it's a great time for you to even be thinking that, because oftentimes when we're in our younger stages, we are so concerned about what others think and how we are appearing to others. But I think when you get a certain age, it's like you don't even care sometimes. You just roll with, look, this is me, and either they gonna take it or they gonna leave it. Tell me what you think about that. Would you agree?
I think that's a necessary part of maturity. Of really not focusing on what other people think, because somebody's always going to like or not like what you do and who you are and what you look like. That's always going to be there. But it really is about getting to the point that you accept yourself and you love yourself and you treat yourself accordingly. That you really just love on yourself, and you do that through your actions, your daily actions, through the things that you say that you want, and through the daily practices that you do. So in working with me, that is what we work on.
Wow.
Your daily practices that are going to get you where you want. It's not a magic pill, and I don't want to get into, recently in the news, there's been this pill that's for something else that all of a sudden people are, oh, you can lose weight. And people are flocking to it. And I'm like, that is so dangerous. It really is so dangerous. We should, and I hate the word should, so I'm going to take that out of my vocabulary right now. But I encourage women to really love on themselves. And it's not about taking the easy way out. But learning just to love yourself and be the best that you can be. And I said I have a daughter, I have grandchildren. I think that's the legacy that we as women, as nurturers, most of us are nurturers anyway. Want to leave for the next generation, because this whole ageism thing, this whole fearing aging, it's not going to get you anywhere. As a matter of fact, it's going to make you more stressful, which adds on a lot of other issues.
Right. I would agree. So I'm sure we have some women out there that are watching you and saying, girl, Ciriaca Yolanda, this sounds real good. But, I don't know if I'm just ready for this. What would you say, or how would you know if someone was really ready to take that leap of faith and work with you?
I don't know if you're ready either, but if we have a conversation
Right.
and I ask you some questions, you and I will be able to tell if you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
Working with me, I am going to, challenge you, because we all need to be challenged to stretch a little bit more and get a little bit out of our comfort zone.
Right.
But it's going to be something that we agree on.
Right.
So again, are you ready? I don't know, but let's have that conversation to see if you are ready, if this is something that you really, really want. You can continue going on with your life. And remember, if you continue to do the same things, what is that a definition of?
Insanity.
And I know that's not you. So, it's a time for change.
Right.
Try something different. Experience something different than what you have, because you never know what doors that may open for you in many ways.
Right. Right. Yes. I would totally agree. Totally agree. So a quick question that just came to mind. Do you work just with people in the United States, or are you doing global type of interactions as well?
Well, thank God for the internet that I can work virtually. For example, I have people in my Facebook group, who live in Australia.
Oh, yeah.
South America, etc. And I also am bilingual. So if you happen to speak Spanish, that's something that we can, work on as well.
Right.
I'm a native of Honduras.
Mm-hmm.
So, I certainly work virtually. Absolutely.
Awesome. Awesome. So before we end, I would love for you to give us any final thoughts that you have about redefining aging.
Sure. Redefining aging, the time is now. It really is now, because every day there's a lot of noise around us that is trying to deter us from loving ourselves more.
Right.
So I encourage you, the time is now. Every day that we are blessed to live is a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
So why not you be an example, be a role model for so many others who are not where you are, but who are looking at you. The time is now.
Right. I would totally agree. Now, I know that you have a freebie for my audience, so I wanted to show that and have you to tell us what it is.
Sure. One of the things that I have heard many, I would say 95% of women talk about is they love their sweets. Oh,
yes.
They love their sweets. I got to give up, my whatever kind of cake.
Yep.
It's about sugar. It's about getting in control of that sugar addiction, because it is an addiction. Unfortunately, I would say more than 40% of Americans are diabetic or pre-diabetic, and that statistic is probably higher than that.
Yeah.
And that has grown over the last 20 to 30 years. We are addicted to sugar, and it is everywhere.
Yeah.
So my freebie really, deals with that. It gives you an opportunity to do some introspection and, just be honest with yourself. And it also gives you some resources, some information to help you along that path. So that's my freebie. It's all about kicking sugar to the curb.
I know that's right, girl. So are you one that is about supplementing the sugar, maybe with a sugar
stevia?
Stevia, yeah, exactly. Or even honey, because I know some people use honey more so than sugar. Are you preaching, or do you use that, or do you recommend that?
I don't prescribe anything.
Okay.
Because I don't. You as a woman are going to lead where you want to go.
Right.
There are a lot of options for you, and I will share that with you, and you can try that. Honey, it's got its pros and it's got its cons. Stevia, it's got its pros and it's got its cons.
Right.
Monk fruit, all of these, there's recently a study that came out about erythritol, which is a sugar alcohol, that is in a lot of sugar alternatives. You can make the decision yourself. After trying some things. I'm going to give you resources. I'm going to put that out there for you, but I'm not going to force anything on you.
Right.
I truly believe that you can shape the direction of how you eat, how you move, etc., so that it works for you and that it is sustainable. Because that is so key. You can try something. You can try keto. You can try paleo. You can try all of these different ways of eating, and it'll work. You'll feel good. You'll lose weight. You'll be able to sleep better. All of those good stuff. You would do that. But I ask you, can you sustain that? And will you be able to make those shifts when you need to make to have it fit you better?
Right.
You're going to learn a lot from me. You're going to, get a lot of information, but I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Right. Well, that's good. So it sounds like it's not a cookie cutter approach. You're going to do it customized based on what the needs and the wants of the woman that's sitting in front of you, and go from there.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, you can't get a better fit than that. That way you're fitting it for them. So just because Susie Q over here is doing it doesn't mean that Becky needs to do it, because Becky and Susie Q are two different people with two different visions and desires about what they want to do and what's going to make them happy. So that is awesome. That is awesome. Awesome. Well, as always, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank Ciriaca Yolanda for coming out. I appreciate you sharing your value and your wisdom with us today. And for those that are watching, if you know of anyone you would like me to interview, by all means, let me know. And I would love to have them on the channel. So as always, thanks for watching, and bye for now.
Thank you, everyone.